Good day, everyone. Let's chat about episode 2 of The Next Prince. First off, did you all tell me last episode what you would do if you found yourself in Khanin's situation? Finding out that you are royalty, first of all. Then, secondly, learning that your whole upbringing was just a lie. Then, to find yourself running for your life with this beautiful man that you just met. Now, let's see what is going on in Khanin's world now that it has been flipped totally upside down. Episode 2 starts off fighting. We revisit the part when Charan opens the door to the gunman and they enter, and the dad is fighting for the gun with one of the assailants. We thought that the gunshot that had went off before had shot the dad, but it did not. In the meantime, Charan and Khanin make their way outside only to hear another gunshot. We don't know if the dad is dead or not at this point. So they escape on a motorbike. And not gonna lie, I probably may have been like Khanin trying to get back to my dad's lioness. And clearly, you don't want the person that you love to die. He kept trying to get back into the house, and Charan eventually pulls off with Khanin on the motorbike because, they need to go. Like, what good is he going to do? Now, I really like the beginning credits. It goes all through all the kingdoms of Emery, and it's like giving Game of Thrones vibes, both the first 7 seasons and the 8th season, because it's going through the hallways as well as like through the different like buildings being built. Like, you just go look at it and you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? It's unfolding like a storybook, and I really do like that design type. So Charan takes Khanin to a lavish-looking house where they are deemed safe for now. And it's very fancy, it's very British, giving the look of a royalty because, well, they are royals. And Khanin, he had a change of clothes and realized that Charan knew his exact size and clothes. And Khanin's dad must have probably given the measurements to Charan just so he could get him a change of clothes and everything. So Charan's dad must have been feeding, the palace and all the people who's supposed to be, or who actually knew that Khanin was alive. He must have been feeding them information about him. So Khanin gets his phone taken away by Charan for safety reasons, and then Khanin is freaking out, just like a Gen Z would do if you were to take their phone. Try it sometime. Khanin was like, what if my dad, he calls or something like that, he needs my help? And Charan said his dad would not jeopardize Khanin's location. Just exactly who is Khanin's fake dad? Is he like a soldier within the military? Is he like a special somebody? So, understandably, Khanin is pissed, but it is understandable what Charan is doing. So, Khanin, he decides to go take a rest, but not for long. When he thinks that Charan is asleep, he attempts to take the phone back. Not only was everything in his phone deleted, but he instantly was caught. Charan was like, what good is it going to do to go back to the house? You're only going to get yourself caught. Plus, your identity must remain secret. Don't make this more difficult, Khanin. Not to mention how easily Charan got out of those handcuffs. Khanin asked him, show me how you escaped those handcuffs. And to me, that's something to remember because I feel like Khanin is going to need that in the future, okay? Then Charan tells Khanin that he has to go back to Emily with him because Khanin has to secure the power of the Safathivithin's family. In the next scene, we are introduced to more people of Emery and the leaders of the 4 tribes, or regions as they call them. They decide to meet for the economic progress update that the king called. So, here are the 4 tribes. We have Tharin, Khanin's dad, and he starts off with the first region, the Asarvathivithins, and gold is their product, and it's doing pretty well. His Majesty is proud because the Asarvathivithins, they are his tribes. He's the current prince of Emery. The next region is the Buchongpitsus, and they are diamonds, and they are actually having trouble exporting their product. The third region is the Davachaminta. They have gemstones, and they are financially doing well. And damn, the technology there in Emery is booming, okay? And the last family is the Minanagan family, and they have pearls. They are also supported by the Asavatharithins, and the king
decides to pick the absolute wrong time to have a coughing fit in front of the other regions or the heads of the other clans. They are basically concerned about secession because they start asking about it. Then one of the leaders say, well, we would check on you, but because of the rule, we cannot enter the palace without permission. The king is like, you know why the rule is in place. Khanin decides to end the meeting early. Then he meets with his dad. When they are alone, the king tells Khanin that Khanin is still alive and he is on his way back to Emery. Not gonna lie, if I was Khanin, I would have been kind of pissed because I would want to know what happened to my son and why you kept him a secret from me for so long. I understand safety, but you also deprived me of a life with my child growing up, you know what I mean? So in the next scene, we have another fencing match. Because we know that Emily has been the best fencers in the whole entire world for so long, and fencing is just part of their trial to decide who becomes the next ruler. So next we meet Ava of the Dutch Method tribe and Ramil of the Buchung Pizza tribe, and they are practicing, and their parents are looking and watching them do their match. So Ramil ends up winning, but Ava is a really good, and they grew up together and are real good friends. And we also get a little politics here. Ava is a female, so she cannot compete for the throne for her father. I really hope that they change this rule because I think that she should compete. And to be honest, I think that she might win for her father because it looks like Khanin, he doesn't really want to rule. He just wants to run off with Charan, and I am in support of that, okay? Oh, wait. Did I get ahead of myself? Let's run it back a little bit. In the royal competition, the heirs have to win, and then their father will take the throne. Ramil is the only male heir of all 4 clans, except they don't know about Khanin yet. And what about Charan? Didn't the king call him grandson? Anyway, after Ava leaves, Ramil snatches up his boy servant like, where have you been? He was like, I was with your dad helping out, the prince. Then Ramil got mad. There's definitely something going on between these two. It isn't even a guess. Like, you can see it clearly here that something's going on. So the servant says, someone might see us. Ramil was like, when I become prince, who dares say something about our relationship? Now, while I do support that, fight for your man, fight for your relationship, because, love is love. Who said you, Ramil, are going to be the next royal prince? And right now, I doubt it will be you and your family in the end, Ramil. Next scene, we see Charan tell Khanin that they have to leave now because it is dangerous. Also, the secret is out that Khanin is alive, making the trip more dangerous back to Emily. They have to figure out an alternate route to get back home. Well, home for, Charan. They end up on an airplane to Thailand, I believe, which is very similar to Emily in language. I wonder why. And on the plane, I'll say, is Carmen having a little nightmare? Touch. And is Charan scared of turbulence? Touch, touch. That's all you get. Go watch the scene. So then we have a flashback of Khanin and Thathanai, that's his dad's name, about taking a trip to Emily eventually. And Thathanai says no, for reasons that we all now know. And then Khanin suggests that, hey, why don't we just go to Thailand? It was a cute little sweet flashback of his dad and of his old life in London. And also, side note, remember the dish Som Tam? I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's going to come back up. Anyway, they hold hands as they leave the airport, and Khanin seems a little shook, surprised by the gesture, but he is liking it. He loves Charan holding his hands. But they are being followed by some men. They hop into a taxi with a chatty-patty driver, and he was like, you guys are so beautiful. You look like actors. Sir, I want to agree with you with that, okay? I can't even get mad. They do. They look like beautiful little princes and actors. Either way, you're correct. After a while, they start being followed by 2 cars. And girl, I hollered when Khanin grabbed Charan's leg because he was scared. And girl, Charan looked at him like, don't get too close to it.
don't get too close. Anyway, the taxi driver said that he could drop them off in the market so they could lose the men by foot. They end up having to fight the men anyway, and you all remember Charan's skills, so he ends up kicking ass. But then it starts thundering and raining, and Charan like blacks out for a moment, like midway in the fight. One of the men ends up cutting him in the arm. It's like a deep cut, but he snaps out of it just in time to finish kicking ass. And Khanin slams a bottle of, looks like a bottle of wine or something like that, on the other guy's head, and they both make a run for it to get away. Yes, boy, save your man. I get it. I think Khanin and Charan already like each other. If only they weren't running for their lives, maybe they could enjoy each other's company a little bit more. But survival counts. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think the Buchang Pasut family was the ones who put a hit out on Khanin. They are the only other clan with a male heir, so they have a reason. Also, they are the only country who is financially struggling right now. I'm pretty sure it was probably so in the past, like 22 years ago. And they also need the king to change some legislation. That's 2 reasons right there to try to kill Khanin, the potential heir for the A family. I'm just going to call them the northern region because I'm going to try to pronounce their last name. Damn it. But I digress. They end up in a bookstore hiding, and Charan throws Khanin some clothes, telling him to change. Girl, then Charan starts taking off his little shirt and clothes, and Khanin is just looking like, change in front of you? Khanin decides to take the clothes or the shirt and wrap it around Charan's arm because he was bleeding. Because remember, he got cut, like a deep cut. Even though, he is wet, he's cold and shivering. And Charan is like, you'll get a cold, so you take it. But no, he still wraps it around his arm. It's so cute how they are caring for each other already. And it's so, so genuine. So anyway, the store owner catches them in his store and is like, you look like that famous singer. And I think that's just a nod to Nunu, okay? Anyway, they end up calling Charan's friend in Thailand, and he comes to get them from the little shop. Once they get back to the friend's apartment, Charan lies and says that Z is his brother. Videsh, that is the friend's name. He calls him out and is like, that's not your brother, that's your boyfriend. And my baby Khanin is like, yes, he runs with it, okay? Yes, we're dating. We met in the UK. And then he starts acting all lovey-dovey towards Charan. Yeah, it is so funny. Then Khanin starts giving Charan little nicknames, especially once Videsh starts asking about their relationship. Charan is so awkward with it, though. Like, this is inappropriate. This is the prince of the country, and he is wanting to give me pet names? No, sir. And Khanin is liking this way too much, in my opinion. But, I would too, if I was him. Clearly, Videsh doesn't know that Khanin is the prince, so he just joking around with them and just playing games with them and stuff like that. Then the next scene is him apologizing to Khanin because, Charan pulls him aside and must have told him, like, hey, you need to act right. This is the prince. Now he knows Khanin is the prince of Emily. Khanin doesn't like it and he wants to be treated normally, not like a prince. But too late, the cat's already out of the bag. So later, Charan asks Videsh what's the plan. How are we going to get back to Emily, undetected? Y'all. And I tell y'all, Nunu, he looks so cute in a little wig. So that was Vidish's plan all along, to dress them up like a little old couple. And that was the photo that I had saw on, I don't know if it was Instagram or if it was Reddit, with Nunu sitting with like a purple wig on in his dressing room. Y'all, I cackled. I was like, what is this? Okay. Also, look at Z's costume as well. He got his little mustachio, looking like a cute little quaint couple. Then there is a shameless plug for Thailand inhalers when they get on a train, okay? At this point, I'm going to have to give me one of them inhalers because the way they be marketing them things, I just hope it don't go to my brain. While on the train, Khanin thanks Charan for protecting him. In the next scene, His Majesty lets Tharnan know that Khanin is almost there and that he will have the royal fencing competition to pick the next successor. A new king has to be chosen. Tharnan said, why so soon? Khanin just got back. Like, he's just coming back here. Also, it's dangerous to be one of the competitors because, you know, people probably going to be at their necks. The king is like, bro, I'm dying. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially coming from your parent, because while he is, you know, your majesty, he's also, you know, Thornin's dad. So he kept that a secret from Thornin as well. I'm like, damn, all these damn secrets, your majesty. Like, is he really dying? Is he gonna pull one of those Ken Porsche scenes where the dad don't really die, but he like died, but he don't really die? Anyway, the king wants to make sure that his family are the next successors right after him. So, guys, what do you think of episode 2? Who do you project will be the next ruler of Emily? I want it to be Khanin's dad, but if not, I'd rather it be Ava's dad. I do not want Ramil's dad anywhere near that throne. I do not like him.
In the last little clip we see that Khanin finally makes it to Emily.
So that is it for episode 2, guys. Please let me know how you like it. What was your favorite part? And please like, subscribe, and please share this video if you so are inclined to do so. I hope you have the week you deserve. Thanks, loves.